Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to Touchdown Talk. You may see a new member on the screen, but I will introduce Billy, the old news NFL UK, and our new rookie, as I'm going to say, as it were. Welcome, Daisy Edwards. Daisy, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Daisy, let's start with you so everyone can find out a little bit about you before we get into new news and everything that's happening around the NFL as well. I always ask this question because I feel like as a UK fan, you have to ask because getting into the NFL is not that easy. So,
Mhm.
so what made you start following the sport and tell us a little bit about maybe who your favourite team is, and I'm sure that will probably lead to who you don't like at that point. So yeah, give us a little spiel.
Yeah, so I come from a rugby family, so grew up around sports, got three brothers that played, all of that kind of thing. And I actually am kind of well, not quite a rookie, but I'm still fairly new to the sport, to be honest. I about three years ago was doing some work for an American company that was overdoing the international games. And obviously, we were all watching the game, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I haven't got a clue. I can't follow this at all. So they were starting to explain it. And they were like, it's kind of similar to rugby, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Start watching and went, I don't think it is. Like, there's like a defense and an offense, but apart from that, the ball's the same shape, right? So yeah, kind of got into it that way. It's obviously got similar styles. So I think it was already like I'm such a team sport person. Like I love that kind of that side of it particularly. So yeah, so these kind of two of the team were talking to me, both from Wisconsin. So they were like, well, you've got to be a Packers fan. So there we are. I'm a cheesehead. And yeah, and then it kind of just stuck from there. And I'm so glad it was kind of Green Bay that I ended up supporting, because obviously they're just such a big fan base, a huge team, a huge part of the NFL, obviously as a fan owned team.
Mm.
And I loved that it was kind of like they've got the Favre and they've got the Rodgers kind of hype as well, and the UK tie. So yeah, so that's my team and kind of how I got into it. And then it's just grown from there. I found myself staying up till 4 a.m. to watch the games and went, oh, okay, I think I'm pretty hooked then if I'm putting in that work and staying up those hours to watch.
Yeah,
Um
for sure. You know what? I say that a lot to a lot of people. Like when you talk about UK fans, the fact that we do stay up till
yeah,
literally ungodly hours to watch this sport, I think that
exactly.
shows a bit of dedication.
Yeah, 100%. It was kind of, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I've got work in 3 hours and I'm still sat here watching. So I'm clearly yeah, clearly fully hooked there. But in terms of teams I hate, I mean, hate is a strong word. I don't want to throw that around too much, but I think a team that stresses me out is the easy answer would be the Bears, Ben Johnson, that whole side of it. But actually it's probably the Eagles. I think they just I can't even pinpoint an exact answer, to be honest, but I think their fans are absolutely terrifying. I think they are really intense. It's quite a lot. And I don't know, they just thrive in chaos and they ruin so many people's seasons that they just became the team that I fear the Packers playing. Like every time I see them, I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. So yeah, that's probably my
What's
most kind
funny?
of
What's funny, Daisy? You're going to fit in perfectly here because me and Bill will always talk about certain teams, right? And then we go, right, we've just lost the Dolphins fans, we lost the Chargers fans. What's interesting is
yeah.
I can see a count of those that are watching currently right now as we're live on YouTube. And as soon as you said you don't like the Eagles fans, I saw it drop.
Oh God, that's not a good start. Sorry, guys. No
Here we
offense
I
to
go.
the
don't
That's
think
how
fans.
we do it.
I don't think anyone that supports an NFC East team watches us anymore. I think he's
Yeah,
done all of them now. We've
Yeah.
kicked all of them off. We've upset every single
yeah,
fan
one
base
by one.
in that
Yeah, I
division.
mean that's a good
So,
start, isn't it?
is
Sorry,
it fair
guys.
to say, Daisy, that Aaron Rodgers is your favourite all-time player?
I mean, he is elite, isn't he? I mean, I'm sure we'll end up talking about him a lot, but just think he's incredible. I would probably say at the moment, it's actually Micah Parsons, to be honest. I just think his talent matched with who he is as a person. Like all the online stuff that you see of him, even just being a dad, down to that side of it as well. I just love, like, he just comes across such a humble guy. And I love watching him play. Obviously, when he's on the field at the moment, he's still recovering, but like, even when they were doing the Pro Bowl and he came on, did you see the videos where he was on his scooter trying to play? Like,
Yeah.
I just like that side of it as well. I think that's what I love about the NFL, is you do see so much of that sort of BTS as well as obviously the games. So I would say, yeah, Mike Parsons at the moment is kind of, he's my guy. I would love to be friends with him. Micah, if you're watching, just drop me a DM.
I think he's definitely a player we'd all love to have on our team.
Yeah,
it's going to be nice to
that.
have some Aaron Rodgers love on this podcast with Samo as a known Aaron Rodgers hater.
Oh, you are,
it's
Billy.
It's going to be fun. Not me. I love Aaron Rodgers. It's the other guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, Sam, I thought better of you. Come on. Why'd you
Daisy, what?
No comment. No comment, because I tell you, if we get into that, it becomes a whole big thing. It's like a disgusting rant.
We will get into it at some point. Maybe not now, but at some point I need to hear the back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming.
That sounds good. We'll set up a debate.
All right, Daisy first, and then we'll move on to Samo. What are you most looking forward to with the 2026 NFL season up and coming? It's going to be quicker than we know. What are you most looking forward to from this season coming?
I think I'm really excited for the international games. I think that's a given. Obviously, it is progressing so much over here. It's just every year is getting bigger and bigger. And I think it's so exciting that they're heading to Melbourne and Paris and obviously Mexico, Brazil. Like, all of these games I think are going to be really exciting. But I am really excited to see this new generation coming in as well. I think we're watching the NFL change so much, obviously, throughout the season, but even in the off season as well. At the minute, there's so many we've still got those veterans like Rodgers and Matthew Stafford and all of those kind of big players there, but we do have the Mendoza, we've got Jeremiah Love coming in, we've got Carnell Tate and Bailey, and I'm excited to kind of see that new generation coming in. It'll be interesting to see them kind of, I don't know, getting into it and playing with the veterans. So I think, I think quarterback storylines are kind of unbelievable this year with sort of Caleb Williams. Obviously we saw a different side to the Bears last year or last season compared to what we have seen. Are they going to keep that up? Is it going to drop a bit? I'm interested in seeing that. Drake May, obviously, Cam Ward, all of those quarterback storylines, I think they're going to be good this year. I'm intrigued to see how that kind of plays out in terms of the teams, because I do think, obviously, as we know, it can just completely change season to season how a team's doing, and obviously a lot of that comes from the quarterback. So I would say they're the things that I'm kind of most looking forward to seeing how they play out, for sure.
And Samo, how about yourself, mate? What are you most looking forward to for this season upcoming?
When it ends. As a Cardinals fan, it kind of gets like that for me. But I am excited just to see how we cope. I'm actually excited to see Mike LaFleur. I think, like, it's been a long time coming, having a sort of offensive styled head coach. I feel like having Jeremiah Love in this team now would be great. I don't mind this, like, Brissett trying to sit out for money. He can sit outside Walmart for all I care, to be honest. Like, why would we pay him? Like, he should have more luck getting more money in a pot outside there, to be honest, than from our organisation. Because what's the point? I feel like the organisation almost knew something like this was coming, with the basis of potentially having Carson Beck come in as well, with one eye on 2027. People were questioning it, why we took him so high. I feel like they knew this was coming, especially as we brought in Minshew as well. So I feel like, actually, interested to see how that plays out for us as a Cardinal. Well, as Cardinals fans, let's see how that runs. Like to see, this is make or break season for Marvin Harrison Jr. for me. I feel like he needs to have that season, otherwise that could be trade candidate, come the end of the season as well, which would be a real shame. So I feel like there's a lot to happen with us. I feel like the season in itself could be huge. Because again, I think last year it was like, who could it be? You know, who's going to go and lift that Lombardi trophy? I feel like the same again this year as previous years. We've gone, it's the Chiefs, isn't it? It's going to be the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Chiefs. Whereas I feel like we're still in that unknown. I think there's a lot of last chance saloons as well. Like I mentioned Marvis Harrison Jr. there, but I'm looking at Josh Allen with you guys, Bill, at this moment in time. Sorry, mate. Guns are out, but I'm throwing some bullets out your way and giving you some strays because he can't get it done. And I feel like this is another season where he needs to like get this done, or is it like that window has passed?
Are we still blaming Josh Allen for playoff losses?
I'm not blaming Josh Allen. I'm not blaming Josh Allen. I'm saying, is this the last chance that he may see something, maybe even with the Bills at this point? Do you feel like the end of the road is there?
I think we've got a couple of years yet. I think this is the first year of a new project with Joe Brady, with Jim Leonard running the defense. And that's where I think we need to see the changes this year. That defense has to step up in the playoffs that it just didn't do under Sean McDermott. This year is I'm not expecting anything this year. Next year and the year after, you've got to make it happen. After that, Josh Allen starts to get 33, 34, 35. The way that he plays the quarterback position, I can't imagine it's going to age great. You know, we don't typically see players that play like that. Look at Cam Newton. You know, he's a guy that was fantastic in his prime, but the longevity isn't there unless you're a quarterback like a Brady or a Rodgers where you can win from the pocket. I'm not convinced Allen can be elite as a pocket-only passer. So yeah, look, this year not so worried, but we've got to get it done in the next 3 or I am going to start to get really worried / upset.
So what are you excited for then, mate? What are you excited for?
I mean, from a personal point of view, I'm excited to see the development of the Bills with the new coaching staff, just to see how the defense develops. Let's get to the playoffs and then let's see what the defense can do there, where it's just giving up so many points over the last few years. From a wider spectrum, I'm really interested to see how the NFL adopts that Sean McVay 13 personnel that we saw so much last year. I think you only have to look at the NFL draft to see the runner tight ends going in the 2nd and 3rd round. Guys that last year, players similar ilk like Jackson Halls were going in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. These guys are being taken in the 2nd and 3rd round. Teams, they want 3 startable tight ends on the field.
Yeah.
But we know that Sean McVay is always a step ahead of these other guys. So we're going to have teams running out this 13 personnel trying to look like the Rams did last season. Do the Rams stay put and say, well, we're a year ahead of you in development of this in our playbook? Or do they pivot and go back to 11 personnel, spread the field, whilst all the offenses are trying to copy what they did last year? So I'm really looking forward to deep diving that from an X's and O perspective. But from a personal point of view, I just want to see the Bills defense lock up in the playoffs, mate.
Hey, yeah,
Simple.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, simple, yeah, sounds simple. Sounds simple.
You tell him, Billy.
There are going to be some last chances, and certainly the last time we see a few people, and one of them I'll have a cake ready for at the end is Aaron Rodgers, who's actually confirmed this is his last season. He's probably finished decorating his cave now fully now, so he's ready to move in on a permanent basis. So we've got one more year of him. He arrives back at the Steelers, which is great. Yep, lovely. Don't have to see too much of that. It was terrifying when he was being linked with the Cardinals. I was like, I didn't even know what to do. I'm either in my mind, I was like, I'm going to have to fully embrace this or still just be on hate watch like every time. But he is there, but he's back with McCarthy, isn't he? It's sort of this fairy tale stroke nightmare, depending on how you look at it. I know what side I'd sit on, but how do you think that ends? Is this going to end in the typical Aaron Rodgers way, where he still blames everyone else because he still sucks, or what? What? How do you see this playing out?
I'll let Daisy take that as the Aaron Rodgers fan.
I mean, look, I do agree. I think it could easily become the Rodgers show and the kind of this farewell tour for his last year, which means that everything could easily get pinned to him. Is he staying 1 year too more? Is he staying 1 year too long? Should he have finished? Obviously, he's 42 now. Like it's an age. But as you were saying earlier on, Billy, like he sticks in the pocket and he is very good with that. I do think I think the Steelers will be happy with it. Obviously, they've not really found that sort of set backup quarterback yet. They've obviously got Drew Aller, and now it's kind of one spot left on the roster between Will Howard and Rudolph. And I do think Howard probably has the upper hand slightly. He seems to be the kind of favourable one between the coaching staff during the OTA. But yeah, I think if you've still got a sort of playoff caliber defense and roster. I think they ranked about 17th last year for the defense. The Rodgers gives you that stability, and for one more year while you maybe figure that out, but you just have to be a bit sort of. It gets to a point where you need to stop patching the position with a veteran and just find that kind of future strong quarterback. They've had Rodgers, they've had Russell Wilson, they've had Trubisky. It's kind of. I don't know. I think this is we know it's their last year of having him. So I think that's going to be their focus this year, is really looking towards the future after Rodgers leaves and who they're going to have to step in.
Are you surprised by it, Bill? Because obviously they brought in another rookie as well, obviously later on in the rounds. You've got Howard obviously sat in there where there's a lot of conversation that people are saying, they do rate him and they do like him in the organisation, and he seems like a steady build. There was comparisons of how his style was like Big Ben previously. Are they using this still as it's still another year of school for these guys?
Yeah, I think so. Look, if you look at Drew Aller and Will Howard, they're quite similar style quarterbacks that have been drafted. Big guys with big arms that are a little bit raw. They need some development. I call quarterbacks like this the Josh Allen project. Teams are going, all right, look, he's got accuracy problems. He's not refined at all, but he's got all the physical tools and he can chuck the ball a mile. Can we get him into our facility? Can we work with him? And can we make him a starting NFL quarterback? Will the athleticism come through? I don't know. Will Howard, I'm a lot more confident in than Drew Aller. I didn't see it with Drew Aller at Penn State. I don't think he's that kind of guy. Will Howard, I think there's something there that could be nourished and made into an NFL starter potentially. It's just, don't you want to get these guys on the field and start to see what you have? Like, Rodgers was never going to retire this year. I know all the talk was, is he going to come back? Is he not? We know the personality of Aaron Rodgers as a guy. He's not going to go out without having his retirement tour, right? He wants every single Steelers game to be, this is the last time that Aaron Rodgers is going to play on this field, on that field, on this field, against this opponent, against this head coach. He wants all that. We know the personality. But from the Steelers organization perspective, you've got, we know Mason Rudolph isn't a starting NFL quarterback. He's a backup at best, right? Let's not waste our time talking about Mason Rudolph. But with Will Howard and potentially Drew Aller, do you not want to get them on the field? You've got Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf on the outside. You've got Jeremy Bernard, who's a really good slot receiver at Alabama. I think he'll be plenty good enough in the NFL. You've got a good wide receiver core. Get these guys on the field and let's see, have we got something to work with, or do we need to focus on quarterback in the upcoming draft? Because I look at it a little bit similar to the Saints last year. If they didn't get Tyler Shough on the field, you don't know, right? And luckily they got Tyler Shough on the field. They went, you know what? We've got a starting quarterback here. We can focus on building around him now. I feel like the Steelers, one more year of Aaron Rodgers, they've got two quarterbacks that they've drafted in the last two classes. Yeah, okay, they weren't high picks, but we've not seen them on the field. So what do? Do you go, right, we're going to spend 1 year with Will Howard or Drew Aller, or do you go and draft a guy? I feel like it's just a step back for an organization that you've moved on from Mike Tomlin. Just reset at the quarterback position and see what you can build moving forward.
It's scary, isn't it? Yeah. It's scary. Yeah, it's the year, but you know what? It's crazy because you knew Big Ben was coming to the end. You could know a quarterback's coming to end, not that year. You'll know 2-3 years in advance. So you must have looked at your guy 2 years ago. You start doing that scouting, you have those reports. So they either felt they couldn't get their guy, whether that was maybe it was, let's say it was Cam Ward or someone like that at that time. But then why did you feel like you couldn't get him again in 2027? Was it going to be Mendoza? They didn't know it was just going to be Mendoza that was going to be available. There could have been Deontay Moore, obviously, at that time as well. So unless that's the guy, there's someone that was supposed to maybe declare now and hasn't, and it's still going to go into 2027. But I still don't think you're, as an organization and as a fan base, God, you're waiting a long time. Welcome to the Cardinals. But I'm saying, like, for someone like the Steelers with that pedigree, I
Yeah.
feel like that is something that is something's not quite right. And like you said, Mike Tomlin as well. It just feels like there's going to be there's a rebuild, and then there's like a whole like just blow it up and start again for the next like 5-6 years. So
Like,
I'm
last
surprised with that.
last year you understood it. You've got Mike Tomlin still in charge. You've got an aging team. They're sitting there thinking, if we can just get middle of the road quarterback play, maybe we can make a run. Maybe the defense can do the heavy lifting. Went and got DK Metcalf. You think, right, we've got him a weapon now. Defense should still be good. Let's see what we can do. But once Tomlin goes, is it not a time to just go, right, we need to reset at this position and really the franchise? We've got some older players. We've got some guys on big deals that probably need to be on contending teams. But then you have to ask the question, is it in the Steelers' nature to not be a contending team? Whether we from the outside will say they are or not, they haven't gone and got one of these upstart young coaches like Jesse Minter, like the Ravens did next door. They've gone and got a guy that's been there, done that, won a Super Bowl. He's experienced. Are we looking at it going, you guys need to just reset? And are the Steelers saying, there's no reset going on here. We're still trying to win. And they think for their organization, the best opportunity to do that is Aaron Rodgers. Either way, it wouldn't be me if I was making the decisions.
Before we sort of move on to the next person here, I'm putting this out there. This will be the first season in a very long time that the Steelers have a losing record.
Gosh.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a big.
And that will kick off, because that will start a whole different thing there. Because now, this is what that feels like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is going to happen this year. My little hot take on that piece. Talking of someone that might, needs to maybe rethink and have a little rebuild of his decision making, is Rashee Rice. 30 days? He's going to be in jail for? Yeah. Violating his probation. There's always 1 year. Someone like the young rookie. It's always wide receivers. I swear, it's always wide receivers. Always receivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to find themselves in hot water or serious trouble with the law. Rashee Rice just keeps doing it. It's not just once slap on the wrist and then like, okay, ends up being awesome. This guy cannot stay out of trouble. And it's like, dude, you have so much money in your bank account, by the way, right? That you should be able to stay out of trouble. Or hire a nanny. Hire someone to be handcuffed to. The only person I suggest don't do it to, Stephon Diggs and maybe Smith-Schuster. Stay away from those two, but find someone else, right, to be handcuffed to babysit you throughout the summer. Like, this is actually ridiculous. Or just get Big Red to sit on your legs for the summer. You might not be able to play for a couple of weeks, but you don't anyway. So because you're normally banged up in jail. But like, what is going on? Like, what is going on with these guys? There's a lot of things happening right now. My question to you guys is, what is the mindset of these guys? What is going on? But is it time for sort of the Chiefs to be looking at maybe potential other talent to come into this wide receiver room?
I mean,
yeah, go on, Billy.
I think they need someone anyway. Even if Rashee Rice was an angel, you still look at it and go, okay, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster. What? You need someone anyway. But what you don't need is your number one wide receiver, your most reliable when he's on the field receiver, doing a madness off the field.
No.
You need to be setting an example. And the Chiefs of all organizations that have just had issue after issue after issue after issue. I don't know, mate. The geezer needs to sort his life out.
But do we think, like, just going back to the roots of why it's happening? Like, do we think it's the jump between college and the NFL? Is there like enough support mentally? Obviously, college is so big. That's not like, no other sport is like that, where you have already created such a fan base around a college sport. Do we think that there's I don't know, enough work off the field in that space where that jump is, I don't want to say getting to their heads because they were already big before, but there's just that kind of, there's not that slow progression. It's just like one big fan base to
No,
another big fan base, and they're
I
young.
agree. Yeah, I agree with that a little to some sort of a little bit, I guess, because if you look at Rasheed Rice previously, there wasn't that NIL money that these guys are getting now. So I feel like now there's going to be a bit more responsibility handed to them. I feel like a college program, essentially, whilst they're a coach at a program, they're seen as university staff. So there's a bit more responsibility to that younger athlete. They are a
Yeah.
teacher at the end of the day. Like, they're a extremely well paid coach, but that I can't call a college coach a PE teacher. I can't say that. What I'm saying is, I can't say. I was like, how do I say this without insulting them? Because they're obviously not. They're more than that. They're more than that. However, the responsibilities are there. They are a staff of a university, right?
Yeah,
So they've
safeguarding's
got
there,
yeah, exactly, that safeguarding element is there. So whilst they're getting paid, when you speak to a lot of people from the college programs, which, you know, recently I've been able to do myself as well, is actually like, there is that responsibility. Yes, we know
Yeah.
NIL money is there, but you know what? We are helping them. This is what you can do with your money. This is maybe what you shouldn't be doing with your money. This is like, hey, you're still the guidelines of this university. Don't mess this up, kind of jobby. Stay within these guidelines. Whereas when you go into the NFL, you are a fully pledged adult. You're an adult.
Yeah.
Like, no one's telling you what to do with your money. No one's telling you what to do once you leave that car park or the facility. Yes, there are certain rules, I'm sure, but it's a little bit that the rails obviously extend a little bit, and you have a bit more sort of freedoms at that point. So I feel like I do see there is that little jump there. I still think teams could be doing more, but at the end of the day, you know, I always laugh. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the film Armageddon with Bruce Willis, right? These guys are earning big dough on their oil rigs, and Bruce Willis says, "Hey, good luck. Once they're off this rig, good luck. Like, they're not my responsibility. They're gambling. They're on their motorbikes. They're doing whatever it is that they want to do." I think it's the same with these NFL players. I feel like maybe there needs to be a bit more from your peers, not the organization. Now, who's actually better than? Is Mahomes doing that? Is Kelsey even doing that, or is he too busy singing lullabies with Taylor Swift? Who knows? But I'm saying, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more of that. It's just interesting when you look at the teams and the certain players. Like, every time, it seems to always come from the same organizations. Like, if you talk about Las Vegas, good luck. Like, it's impossible. And again, one of your senior players is Max Crosby. You're probably not getting the right guidance, are you? That's like the bad uncle at Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, he's not telling you all the good stuff. So, yeah, I feel like there's a little bit more to that. I'm interested to throw back to you guys as to what they do, though, because, like I say, there are wide receivers available. Free agency, yeah, there are some vets there, albeit a very strange pool, because I'm sure some names are going to be put out, because what we've just spoke about there, probably not the people you want to be bringing in. But there are some potential trade candidates as well. Like, we're talking about AJ Brown, Brian Thomas Jr. has been floated around as well. Some players that could come in clutch. But what do you see them doing? You see them going free agency? Do you see them pulling off a bit of a big trade there? Because they've already done it, didn't they? They've already had like a bit of a trade, obviously, in there. Was it McDuffie that ended up going to the Chiefs? Right, so
from the Chiefs to the Rams.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So, you know, I feel like they need to make a bit of a splash.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who they'd go with. Obviously, like AJ Brown, I can't see Philly letting him go, to be honest. And obviously, there's Tyreek Hill back in Kansas would be cinema, to be honest. But I'm not sure financially or culturally that really makes sense. I don't know. Maybe Deebo Samuels. I think he'd fit Andy Reid's offense well, but I think that, like you said, the pool is not great that they've got to choose from. Obviously, Stefon Diggs, I think that would be adding a ridiculous personality to a bit of a nightmare, let's call it an unstable room. And then obviously
Bill doesn't want that either. Bill doesn't want that, because then Stephon Diggs catching the winning touchdown in the playoffs or something like that. That's exactly what will happen. Now, I will be there for that, and I will have every assortment of popcorn as that was happening as well. Like
the level of hurt that would cause me if Stephon Diggs caught a pass against us when he couldn't catch one against the Chiefs in the playoffs, would just hurt me, let alone if he caught the winning touchdown. But like, bring Stephon Diggs in, bring Tyreek Hill in. Stephon Diggs is probably going to get a suspension given to him. Tyreek Hill, we don't even know if he can run anymore. And just that, but Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Rashee Rice. You want cinema? There's cinema, mate. How's that for a wide receiver room?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I don't know if they can pull off a trade. There's a reason that they traded Trent McDuffie. There's a reason that they've had to let starters walk out the room from the defensive side. There's starters that have left the building because they're not flush with cap space. So to go and pull off, let's say they wanted AJ Brown, you're paying a first-round pick and then you're signing him to an extension. Brian Thomas Jr. still on his rookie deal. That might make a little bit more sense. I think they go the route of, can they get clearance that Diggs is not going to get suspended, and can they give him a 1 year, come here and play deal? Same with Deebo Samuel. I think Tyreek Hill might be a middle of the season signing. Let's prove you can move properly after that horrific injury he suffered last year. But they wouldn't have this problem if Rashee Rice was a normal person. And I understand what you guys have just said about, the level of college to the NFL. He's 26 years old. He's not a boy. He's a man. And he's acting like a prat.
I mean, that's where the NFL is still a business. If your players, no matter how talented they are, if they're not responsible off the field, then how long can you keep giving them those chances and continuing to? There's got to be a point, right? There's got to be a point where they go, enough's enough. And talent's never been the issue with Rice. It's just his attitude and obviously all the rubbish he gets himself tied up with.
I think you can get Brandon Ayuk for cheap.
Ayuk's another one, but he's going to want money. He's going to want to get paid.
He's going to get money, but I'm saying what you're going to get. You're not going to have to give up too much. I think they're desperate to get him off the books.
They'll release him in 3 weeks.
He'll get cut. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's probably one to potentially keep an eye on. I for one, I'm unsure about any of the others. The AJ Brown one is interesting though, Daisy. You mentioned obviously I'm not sure if they're trading, but with them bringing in Lemon and Smith, I do feel like AJ Brown might be up. Whether that is early on in the season or down further along the line, I feel like I could see AJ Brown in a completely different uniform throughout this season.
The cap hit would be huge.
Yeah,
huge the cap hit. But it doesn't seem like there's a good relationship with Nick Sirianni and AJ Brown.
No,
it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, we will get into. I've got some interesting takes on the Eagles. We'll get into that in another episode. But the way they're building that offense around a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, especially if they get rid of AJ Brown, I'm not sure that they're sold on Jalen Hurts either. So
we'll be doing that. We'll do a rundown, a future episode. As you know, guys, we tend to obviously go through a little bit of a preview. We'll go from division by division. So we will obviously look at some news across each team as well. But what might be changing with certain teams is sometimes locations, which we haven't seen for too long, since obviously Las Vegas obviously brought in a team because no one wants the Raiders ever for some reason. It just gets moved around. We saw obviously a little bit of the move obviously for the Chargers, but at the end of the day still kept it in the state. But Indiana, who have just seen some success in the college scene, potentially picking up an NFL team, the Indiana Bears, really? It can't happen,
illegal.
can it?
It does feel illegal. It feels illegal. No, it's not. No, it can't happen. It can't, mate. They could move to Timbuktu. I'm still calling them the Chicago Bears.
That's the thing. How long does it take a team to actually change their name? Because the generation that follows them right now, or everyone that's alive that follows them as fans is never going to just suddenly change and start calling them the Indiana Bears. Like, that's just, I think there has to be, I actually think there should be a handful of teams that should basically be protected from relocation, because the identity is so tied to the city. The Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, 49ers, like I cannot understand.
Could you imagine the Cowboys? Sorry, the Could you imagine? Oh my God! I just, oh God,
Washington,
the
like
London
Maine.
Cowboys.
The Maine Cowboys. Just send them to Maine or something like that. Like, just the most random place.
We might get the London Jaguars at some point.
No,
Yeah,
I agree with Daisy
hilarious.
completely. I agree with Daisy completely. There should be some teams that you're just not allowed to move. Like the Green Bay Packers. No, you play in Green Bay. That's the end of it. Chicago Bears.
And they're called the Packers because of the
the
location.
Leave them alone.
Yeah. And also, you're then making all the fans now travel cross-state to go and watch their home team when they've been so used to, obviously, it being in Chicago as well. I think that's like, I don't know. I mean, is there any way that they could move to Hammond but keep their name? Would they do that? Or would it be like, if we move cross-state, we're going to change the name to Indiana Bears?
Hell no. Can they? Yeah, they couldn't keep the name. There's hell no. The amount of money that they're going to be having to probably spend and put up for that, and the state and what they'd have to give up, is absolutely no way. Absolutely no way would they not want to have their name in. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. I think the thing for me at the moment, and this is where I feel like there needs to be, if you go, the NFL themselves want to extend, right? They want to have 18 games internationally, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think a part of that is not only obviously growing the sport, but I think that is to, like, okay, you can do this travel, guys. So there's actually potential to maybe have another team elsewhere or expand the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the years to come, I'm not sure how soon this will be, I think the NFL expands. And I'm talking there'll be extra teams that you don't need to create or move Chicago to Illinois. Oh, sorry, to Indiana. Sorry, not Illinois. So they are. But I'm saying I feel like they need to maybe just create another team at that point. I think that's going to happen. I think they're going to need to. I think they're going to need more space for more players to them to get that money, because I feel like there's going to be less and less players wanting to move on to guarantee minutes. And when I say that, it's because of NIL. If I am unsure whether I'm going to be playing and picking up starter money, I'm not declaring soon. You know, whereas if there was a few extra teams and a few more extra starting spots because the league's expanded, maybe we'll still have a steady flow of players coming through college, because I think that's slowing down. I think we saw people fall off the cliff a little bit. I think people were saying like that talent, didn't they? Saying it's falling off now. It used to be sort of that anywhere between sort of 6 and 7 rounds, you're like gamble. Now they're saying it's hitting like round 4 because the talent isn't declaring at this point. That can't happen. The NFL won't allow that to continue. That will not happen. It kind of kills the product a little bit.
I'm such an elitist, man. I don't want no new teams. I don't want it to stay the same. Like it's a club. The club's locked. You ain't getting in. That's the end of it. The teams stay where they are. Like move the Jaguars, move the Panthers, move the Cardinals.
Whoa.
Whoa. Move them teams. You don't move the historical teams, and you certainly don't move the Buffalo Bills, and that's the end of it.
It's tough. It is a tough one.
No,
I mean, yeah, it's hard. I feel like then Chicago or Illinois need to do a little bit more. Like with Chicago, it's they got to figure it out and get that right. But one to keep an eye on, because if that does move, that is cool.
Huge.
Things are going to hit the fan. Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure. But we, in other news, and probably one of the main things that did come out as well, Ty Simpson was delighted with this, to see that Matthew Stafford signed a 1-year extension, $55 million. Get your money. That is, hey, how about a retirement fund? That, it's not bad. Is this a good thing for Ty Simpson? No, because he still gets to be behind someone else. You know, he's going to sit for the year anyway. Does this help? Obviously, with another extension put Stafford's way.
I hate the Ty Simpson pick so much. Like, just there's so much about the only person it's good for is Ty Simpson. It's not what I don't understand it for a start, apart from Les Snead being mates with his dad. Like, okay, cool, I'll do you a favour, I'll pick your son. But all I can envision happening, Ty Simpson was a 1-year starter at Alabama. 1-year starter. He's now going to sit behind Matt Stafford, who's just signed a 1-year extension. And all I keep thinking of is when the Packers drafted Jordan Love, because everyone thought, oh, Rodgers would be done soon. And Rodgers went, how about back-to-back MVP seasons, mate? That geezer ain't playing. So Ty Simpson's going to sit on the bench behind Matt Stafford this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after. He's not going to have played football in 3 seasons, and the only experience he's got is 13 games at Alabama. For a team that are trying to win the Super Bowl. I hate the pick. I hate the pick.
I think they're clearly prioritizing contention over succession planning, and just kind of, I mean, it's similar to, it's not that far from the Rodgers situation, where how much are you progressing the other players with all the backup quarterbacks when you're keeping these veterans in? I mean, again, he's 38. He's not probably going to be playing maybe 2. I don't think he's going to do more than another year or 2, to be honest. He might, I don't know, he might stay on, but he obviously, McVay clearly trusts him. So I think because they were so close this year and they've built that team up, I wonder whether again it's just sticking with what they know because they don't want to have to start again.
He is the reigning MVP.
Yep.
He is the reigning NFL MVP.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the Aaron Rodgers Pittsburgh Steelers situation where you've got a guy that's quite clearly in decline, has been in decline. You've got the best player in the NFL last year, or the best quarterback in the NFL last year. That's what the MVP award is, right? Who's the best quarterback? You get the award, right? The best quarterback in the NFL for the second best team in the NFL, who have a home Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
And instead of going to get a wide receiver, so your wide receiver core is Anti-Semite Nakua, Devontae Adams, and Makai Lemon or KC Concepcion, after you've just gone and traded for Trent McDuffie and made that defense even better, you go and take a guy that's not going to see the field with the 13th overall pick.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was a surprise to me. But that's what surprised me. We talked about Brian Thomas Jr., for instance, like being a trade candidate. At that pick, could they have traded that first round pick? Because they hate first round picks as it is. Could they have not traded that way for that wide receiver potentially? And the Jags would have probably snapped that up because that was 13, wasn't it? 13th overall.
13th overall pick. If you get that coming straight for Brian Thomas Jr., you think that whoever GM sent that has lost his mind? Like for the 13th overall pick, oh man, I can't. I don't understand.
I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised because obviously a lot of the talk was, I mean, he was heavily linked to the Cardinals, and it made sense because they were talking about us trading back in from like maybe I think it was about 26 down. I think they were saying we'd probably trade back in to get him, but that would have been pairing him up with Jeremiah Love and a bit of a rebuild, and there's no pressure in that anyway. That, like you said, 1 year starter, if it doesn't work out for us, 1, no one cares because it was us, the Cardinals, and 2, it's just we'll just go again and waste some more picks with another QB the following year. But yeah, for the Rams, it's a strange one. I, for one, the $55 million extension makes total sense.
Yeah,
that bit, fine. The Ty Simpson bit still doesn't quite, like when that came out, I was like, what? And then again, listen, I know McVay came out and said, no, I'm happy. Like, but I back my guy. We've told Stafford, blah, blah, blah. But listen, a face paints 1,000 words, isn't it? Right. And when you saw all the feedback after, and I just looked and went, this isn't your decision. This is someone's done it as a friend. You know, someone's done that. And it's like, it's a waste. And I feel like that is a real kick in the nuts for a coach that deserves to basically have full control, like full say. I want this person, get them. If you don't, you failed. Basically, here's you've got one person as backup, and I'm telling you, Ty Simpson could not have been on any of those draft boards that McVay had there. No way.
And, agreed. And look, I'm not going to say to a team, you know, you've got a 38-year-old quarterback. Okay, he's the MVP, fine, but he's 38 years old. He's had back injuries. You need to figure out what's coming next, but not when you are the Super Bowl favorites. You're the favourites to go and win the Super Bowl. Your quarterback's the MVP, and you're playing at home in the Super Bowl if you get there. Like, go and stack the team with talent to go and win another one, and worry about the quarterback down the road. Because I guarantee you, the fans aren't going to worry too much. Oh, we haven't had a quarterback since Matt Stafford. Yeah, but you got 2 Super Bowls out of it, so it's not the end of the world. It just doesn't make sense. It feels like they've half-assed it, and it's not like Fernando Mendoza fell to 13. It's Ty Simpson. I'm not a fan of the decision. Go on, Dave.
No, I do. I feel like, I mean, there's only so much, like, as you said, there's how do young quarterbacks develop if they're never actually playing meaningful football? And there's only so much training you can do off. You need to be playing the games. You need to be racking up the minutes. And obviously you can learn a lot from watching. But again, there's a point. And I think, I don't know, maybe this is an NFL development issue that's becoming quite regular. We are seeing teams drafting quarterbacks, but they sit there for years and we still don't know what they are or what they can do, or like, I mean, and not just even with quarterbacks. I think Matthew Golden is a little bit of another one, like with the Packers. I feel like we hardly saw him play last year. He was like this big player that we were getting in, and I think this year hopefully they'll start to use him more. But I do think it's happening a lot where they are drafting these huge top picks and actually just not seeing not seeing them play, not seeing them progress, because no one, I don't know, the focus is obviously on winning the Super Bowl, so they're going to go with the person they know, the reliability.
Yeah, and I think, look, leading into that Matthew Golden conversation a little bit, I think that wide receiver room in Green Bay was stacked. I think losing Romeo Doubs to the Patriots is going to help Golden get on the field. I think there's so much talent there. We'll see Matthew Golden come good. I think this year will be good for Matthew Golden. But look, we've lost Samo. I don't know what's happened. His internet's gone. He's going to celebrate the Arsenal Premier League victory. Congratulations to all the Gooners listening. But look, we're going to wrap it up. Daisy, great to have you on for your first pod. How'd you find it?
I've loved it. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been it's been great.
Fantastic. That's another episode of Touchdown Talk, and we'll see you guys next week.